Hello and salam, everyone. Welcome to the championship edition of the JAMS 2016 football show. And I'm here with two former champions, Farrell Shisty of the Hurricanes, formerly of the Hurricanes, I say, and we got Omar Shakir of the Boone Bounty Hunters, the defending champs for about 3 more days. What's going on, guys?
Assalamu alaikum, how you doing?
Good, man. I can't complain at all. What's going on, Omar?
Enjoying my fishing.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't the last episode, but this is the last preview show, I guess. And here we are, 3 days before the championship. We got the Union, who, after all my doubts, have made it to championship. We have the heavy hitters, the new team, the team that nobody knew about. Some people still don't fully know about them, and they're here for real. They're here in the finals in their first year. What are you guys' thoughts? Farrell, kick us off. What about this new team?
I mean, I had seen them in the beginning. Some of the guys were familiar from DC, and they had some good players. Obviously, we talked about the O line and the D line, but someone that stood out to me other than the QB was number 6 for them. I thought that he ran a nice post route when they played the Canes, and overall. Number 88, 21, I thought they had all the pieces. I think that maybe they had to get used to the league. I know they played together, so I thought they could be a top 4 team if they get everything together.
Okay. What about you, Omar? You just played them recently. I mean, tell us what happened in that your game and your opinion on them.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think I told everyone since game 1 we had against them. We beat them by 1 point. And I remember even telling the admins, I was like, this team is legit, And to be honest, I know we were just, feeling out things, but as the season went, we played other teams and it was, up and down with us missing players and stuff. And then we came to the semifinals, and to be honest, they brought it. All I can say is they deserve to win that game. You guys saw that D-line. Quay and his brother just ate us up. But in the same sense, we lose a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities. I dropped the pass in the end zone, a couple of drops here and there, a couple of tough calls, to be honest. But they're a legit team. I mean, I kept saying it all season long, and it proved.
And their corner number 9, Ryan
Willick.
Yeah, Willick. I'm going to shout out him because I was doing Facebook Live, and I usually get it when it's like in the red zone, and he had a pick, and he's like, "Did you get that? Did you get that?" I was like, "No," because you weren't in the red zone. But shout out to him; he made some good plays. And number 6, KM Bell, James Cologne, as I said, other people. Number 21, Powell Betka. So, a deep team.
Yeah, man. I mean, just these guys are so athletic. They're the other team in this league that actually plays man. They actually play man up on defense. And as you mentioned before, Ryan Willick, Kaim Bell, those guys are excellent corners, definitely among the 2 of the best. But they have the defensive line pressure from up front. They have, as you said, Paul Butka. He's another amazing corner. He's just that fast. He keeps up with everyone.
And he's a running back. He can definitely, behind that line, he could get out there and move.
I mean, they played man up on, sorry, Omar, but they played man up on your collection of athletes at wide receiver, and they did pretty well. I mean, Ryan had 2 picks that game. Maybe 3, I'm not sure, but I know he had 2 for sure.
They definitely did a great job. But in terms of their man defense, not to say that you can say that we do definitely BBH has the better receivers, or I guess I want to say more athletic receivers. They have good corners. They have good corners for sure. But it really, how I feel it, when it comes to playoffs, it really comes down just to just solid defense on the line. How much time are you giving that quarterback to really think and just make the play that he wants to make? And that's really where I think it was a little bit of a mix. We fell short a little bit, in terms of the line, not giving Brandon that protection he needs. Maybe he didn't, roll out as much as he did, maybe last year, quarterback's head, and
I think we're
saying, got to give Brandon more time.
Oh, there we go. I think you're back. There we go. So, I'm sorry to.
And of course,
No,
And of course, the
Uh,
quarterback, Jameis.
yeah, so I mean,
yeah, JAMS, like I've been talking about him all season long. The guy's legit.
What?
He's the one who had the scoring touchdown that was the difference in this one. It was a 50-yard run off the left side. He got a couple blocks from his wide receivers. It was a huge run. It was a game break, definitely a game breaker. Something that
down the sideline, which is really hard to do.
Oh, and he just like turned on the burners, and that was it. I mean, it was a weird game because they both heavy hitters and the Boone Bounty Hunters went back and forth. They traded drives on each other's goal line, and neither of them really punched it in until that moment. So,
And it's a game of inches. Ardell almost took one to the house. I think Jameis actually pulled a flag. Brandon was close. There was a corner pass where the receiver dropped it. So a lot of there's a lot of times where one team because of inches just didn't capitalize.
well, now what about the Union guys? Let's talk about the Hurricanes in the Union game. I mean, that was an interesting game. The Union I didn't think the Hurricanes.
I'll say they dominated.
One side of the game.
Omar, any chance you can move to a place where you have better Wi-Fi reception? We're kind of losing you in and out. So,
I'm sorry. Hold on.
sorry to move you, but yeah, I mean, the Canes just got dominated. Farrokh, your former team, the team that you say Hurricanes for life, they just couldn't move the ball against the Union. And then the Union drove, and they started to kill the clock literally 3 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, when Union has a 2-touchdown lead or even a touchdown lead, they protect it. It's in my 7 years, I can't recall maybe a handful of times, if that Union has let up a lead like that because they're just so organized, prepared, disciplined. Every single person knows what to do at every point, and it is to perfection. To be honest with you, from playing them so many times.
What about you, Omar? What do you think about the Union, especially in the game against Canes? You were there on the sideline with me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it wasn't. I don't really think it was a game, to be honest. I mean, Union just dominated. I mean, they were rushing stuff actually the most. I felt they were blitzing with stuff all day. Mustafa was getting there. Rajab the kid's a monster, man. Mashallah, kid has strength.
I call him a kid when easily 30. He's 30.
I think we're losing you now, Farouk.
What's that?
I mean, Hadis.
I think we lost Omar again. I'm not entirely sure. No, there we go. He's back.
I think.
Yep. So, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was really – look, Union game plans very well. Naeem's very smart. And they just all listen to the game plan. That's just the bottom line. Naeem has one word. I don't care who you are. Rajab, Mustafa, whoever. Listen, and that's how they get things done. They all know that. So the benefit of the team. But they did bring the pressure to the Canes. I mean, the Canes quarterback, one of the fastest quarterbacks we got, and the kid couldn't go anywhere.
I mean, my thing with them is just the fact that their defensive line, the Union's defensive line, was really harassing Matt Carroll, the Hurricanes QB. He didn't have much time to throw. He was always stepping away from rushers. It was hard. It was painful to watch him just literally watch his line just get manhandled like that. I felt like he never had more than a second and a half to actually get his feet after receiving the snap. And then, honestly, there weren't many completions from the Hurricanes then. I felt like their defense couldn't do enough. Their front four, which I've been saying is kind of weak, just didn't show up at all this game. The Union, a team that I've always said their offensive line is kind of weak. Even their defensive line is okay. They look like the better team on the front lines there. I
think the Big O from the Spartans gave the stat line for the Union defense. I don't have it in front of me, but 6 sacks, 2 picks, etc. But yeah, they were using Mus great on the blitz. I've seen Rajab play D-line and safety, and he got in and pulled some key flags. And of course, you have Dom, who's a beast. We all know that. If I think if it was him and if Kareem was still around, how could you can't double team either one? So.
I mean, yeah, obviously every team, like if you have a guy like Kareem miss these games, I mean, how are you going to stop both Dom and Kareem? But I mean, even then, Dom's still holding up his side of the bargain.
And Saf is still in the mix. You can count him out. And then
he reminded me like, oh yeah, there's still me on this team. I'm still a lineman. I'm still pretty good at this. So.
And number 64, Abu Alham Mahmoud.
Mm-hmm.
He's what I mean. So and they definitely but I have to give props to the safety. Number 3, John Diaz. They did well because the Canes had Bovo, Scholl, Collis, Ray. They had some receivers, and but like you said before, the pressure was there, so it's easy to play secondary when the quarterback is either getting pressured and not throwing the ball, or throwing it away, or not throwing it well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, any other takeaways you got from this game, Omar?
Honestly, I was really impressed with number 3. What's number 3's name?
I think
you said
John Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
John Diaz. Yeah, that kid has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has some speed. To be honest, I mean, I didn't really pay attention to him all season, and the kid's pretty fast. I know Ruzza. I think that's his name, Ruzza. Another guy they picked up this year. He also has some speed to him. James was a phenomenal flag grabber. But in terms, I think what I really think in this league, it comes down to the offense and defensive line. That's huge. If you have a decent quarterback and you have just a great defensive and offensive line, you'll do wonders. And that's how we got to the chip first year. That's the same way we got to the chip. Last year we were good, I think so. But I really think it comes down to the offensive and defensive line to really push it in this league. And Union they have a decent defensive line and they have a good offensive line, but it really comes down to just also play calling, and they do a great job with that.
Union, the most organized team in the league.
I think some underrated players that are athletes, because I played against them in other sports. The Petrovich brothers.
Mansour and Jasmine.
When I was I watched the game before, and I talked to Kev Scholl, and I said, watch. Dominic is a force. We all know that. But I said, watch Mansour leaking out for those tight end drags and things like that. His brother is very physical, good center. But also, let's not forget, this guy's an elusive for a long time. Eric Popo Blunt.
That's a running back.
What a run he had.
Yeah.
Oh, he was doing well. Go on.
No, I said any stayed in bounce, and I don't think he gets enough credit for being a good running back.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely among the higher tier running backs. I mean, this isn't a league where we run the ball a lot, but he definitely handled the rock well. I mean, I think we talked about the Union enough. They definitely don't like how we didn't bring up their athletes enough. Oh, my God. I heard all day on the sidelines how we never talk about how athletic they are. Oh, how they're old. I mean, then again, I've been hearing from them all year. I've been hearing from everyone all year.
But it's funny because there are athletes, because all of them play in multi-sports. They all play basketball, softball. So they were saying themselves in the beginning they're old, and I never buy it. I didn't buy it then. I didn't buy it 2 years ago. I'm not going to buy it 3 years from now. Because we're all getting older. It's like when you play young guys in basketball, right? They see a bunch of old guys, but if you pass well and you do the pick and rolls and you hustle, you can beat people that are supposedly more athletic than you.
No, I mean, yeah, they do have athletes. I just always said, they don't have – they're just not as fast. But I guess they don't need to be that fast. It's about football players, not quite athletes. And they've showed us that. Now let's move on from these games. Let's go into a championship game. I mean, where do we start? Do we go with the Union, their planning, their collection of athletes, their experience? Experience is definitely valuable. This would be their 4th championship appearance, 5th championship appearance in this league.
5th.
Oh, Brooks. Yeah, I mean, these guys model of consistency. They were literally just in the championship 2 seasons ago.
My friend, I have a friend here today that you said I could bring a friend.
Oh,
I don't know if you can
yeah?
see that.
Oh,
Union,
my God.
Union, Union. Yeah, they're up here quite a bit.
Oh, my God. And then the other team, of course, is the Hurricanes. Bruton's also up there. Omar, this is a side question. How come Bruton is never brought up as like a mini dynasty? I mean, you guys have put up 3, 4 consecutive successful seasons where you went to the finals and semifinals 2 of the 4 years. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
do
but I
you feel
think
like
dynasties. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, like one thing I hear from Naeem sometimes, what really makes you a dynasty, or what makes you really good. To be honest,
Mhm.
we have talent. We have the skill. We've always been pushing, but honestly, I think I'm still like getting into like the rhythm of things, learning how the league goes. Look, the first season we played against Hurricanes, the first season I merged with Boonton, and we had the team. It was really came down to experience. It was
Mhm.
Kilkenny's composure, Baruch and them, how they were very composed, running down that field to score that touchdown on us. We
Mhm.
all know that shouldn't happen, but we had some mislapses and whatever. But it was came down to experience. You know, the second season came, whatever. I wasn't able to be there. Last season came. We made it work. Thank God. This year came. We were first seed, but throughout the whole entire season, we were missing players here and there, and we kind of went away from a lot of things. Like one thing, even I was talking to Kuti. Kuti has been injured for a long time this whole entire year. So we weren't able to go to him, a lot in this that playoff game as well, which he was almost like always, one of our bailout guys. So a lot of things this year because of injuries kind of just switched things, on us. But I really think we still got some work to do before we can be considered like a dynasty. I really look up to like Ian, not only because they have multiple championships, but also because they really proved in tough times. I think we haven't really been tested so hard and really overcome that test.
Where do you guys go next from here?
I really look. I can see ourselves. I'm not going to say win it next year, but that's definitely on my mind. I mean, that's goal number one, to be honest. But I see ourselves really being competitive. Look, I know I have the pieces. I mean, it was no doubt in my mind that we could have won it all this year. But let's see how it goes. It needs a little tweaking here and there. I really think this loss is going to teach us a lot. I learned so much from it. And I already know game planning what I would like, to discuss with Brandon and Cody, our team in terms of what we can make better. And we'll see. But we'll definitely be ready to HH's butt next year for sure.
Wait, mine? Ah,
No, no,
oh, that,
no. I mean,
that was a really bad joke.
heavy.
I couldn't resist. Although I will
No.
say, Rich Osnowo, he lined up against me this season. But last season, what a handful. I just couldn't block him one-on-one. I needed help. But yeah. Baruch, what about you? What's next for Bruton? What's next for the other two teams in the finals?
I mean, I'll go to Boonton real quick. I mean, they've been, they're up there with, as of right now, Swag and themselves as the only other teams to win it other than the Canes and the Union. And, reeling back to the game from 2013, we literally won on prayer. I mean, it happens. It's sports, it's football. But I think when you're the hunter and then you become the hunted because it's happened to us, it's hard. It's a lot of pressure because every team gets up for you. When you're 4-6, like they were, and they ran the table, okay, that's fine. Even the year that we beat them on the last second play, they were an average team. Then when you go to the champs to 8-2, a lot more pressure. And and I've seen this with our guys too sometimes in the past. How complacent are you? Are you happy with one? Do you think you're going to just blow people out because you're the champs? So, of course, there's some fine tuning, but also, losing teaches you a lot. So,
Yep.
And just on the side note for the Canes, I know I don't play for them, but I'm sure they won't mind. But I think it's a learning experience for them too. I think Kevin Haney did a great job of recruiting, as you can see. Once again, pretty new team. A lot of chemistry needs to be built. A lot of a learning curve and some growing pains, and I'm sure they'll learn from the Union loss, just like we did in our first year together.
I mean, the one thing I do disagree with you is that losing doesn't teach you, or there's a cap on how much it could teach you as a perennial loser in this league. The only thing I've learned is to jump ship whenever you see it falling or sinking.
I meant more in the situations where you're close to your goal and you're missing it by inches and things like that. And obviously, if you're if you need to do a lot more work, but in those situations where someone like Boonton was on the cusp again, they know what they have to do to do things like that. Obviously, they have to rebuild a team, that's different. But I'm sure when Boonton lost in the championship to us on the last second, when they were playing DC without even being there, they were thinking about those last 14 seconds, and they learned from that. Is that correct, Omar?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Really quick, Omar, what was the worst loss, this Hurricanes game or that championship? I mean, actually, what am I asking? I know it's a championship game. You guys had it in your hands until you guys snapped defeat from the jaws of victory.
It's funny you asked me that, because I was actually telling Brandon after the game how I honestly felt that, and not the Hurricanes, well, actually the heavy hitters one hit me harder, but it didn't hit me in terms of, I guess I was impressed about the Canes one, getting there, but this one, the reason why it I felt it hurt a little bit more was just in terms of the amount of effort put in. It takes a lot of practice to get 8-2 in this league, and I'm telling you, when we put time. I mean, and I'm talking about everyone, and a big shout out to every single person on BBH who really put the effort, came to practice every week. And that's kind of what hurt. It's like it's not like basketball, it's like you put so much effort every single week for 10 weeks, 12 weeks. You're just like, wow. So
no, you start in June or July, more right after Ramadan, so more than that.
Okay, more than that,
And plus, I think the expectations,
Yeah.
when you're a 6 seed, 4-6, your expectations are okay. That's great. Champs, 8-2, number 1 seed. Expectations are high, so therefore there's only unless you win, the expectation is not met, so it's harder.
Oh, exactly.
And that's why you take it harder.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, even with Brandon, AD, Cootie, all our top guys, everybody, they kept pressuring. Look, guys, no matter what happens, we just got to keep pushing, got to keep practicing, we got to keep doing it. No one. That's the one thing I got to give it to my guys for, is that no one went in there thinking, we're champs, we deserve to win. They put in the work every single week. And I think that's what stinks. You put in so much time and slip up, slightly. I mean, I was even thinking to myself, and Farouk, you got all the numbers in front of you with the championship games, but I think almost all the championship games have always been so close. Almost all of our playoff games.
With the exception of one.
Was that the Gladiators one?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even remember that season. I didn't play that season. That was before.
Yeah, it was also before my time. So
it was 23 degrees outside, and we came to the field ready, and then some of the Gladiators had their hands in their pockets, and we were like, oh, they're not ready for this. And we had just came off a season where we were undefeated and the Union beat us, so we definitely had redemption on our minds. So it comes into play sometimes, psychological.
All right, so let's go. Championship game. What's the juiciest storyline for you guys? I already have mine picked out. Any great matchups that you see? Anything that stands out to you guys?
Go ahead.
I mean, you got the young gun quarterback against the veteran champ. That's a juicy storyline. Rajab, top 2 quarterback ever in the history of JAMS, depending on who you put at 1 and 2. Either so experience, poise. I mean, I don't want to disrespect him because I'm not saying he's a little older, but the Tom Brady he's a Tom Brady of the league, and then you get Mr. Holloway. Could we call him, young quarterback that's looking to break through, kind of like Russell, Wilson did when he was, even though he's playing in the league. That's a juicy storyline. I mean, how is the Union offensive line going to protect him against D-line? That's where it's going to be won or loss.
I think that's going to be the game right there. Is what is Union going to come up with to try to stop that line? They got to be fast. They got to throw really fast passes. And I don't know. I don't know if Union's going to have enough time to throw those deep balls that they really like to throw.
And and just remember also, they use Dom and the tight end a lot, and you can't have the tight end release on that D line all the time, because then it's going to cause.
It creates one-on-one matchups, and that's never good for an offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. And so are they going to use a running back? Are they going to keep one tight end in? Obviously, James did really well with middle slants. Union exposes the middle better than any team in this league, including when I played for the Canes. We used to yell and scream, "Middle's open, middle's open." They will use a screen to the middle. They will pass to Mus on a slant. They will pass to Muhammad Fahmy. They will talk Islam. Anyone. They will expose the middle more than anyone, and that's a big key.
Okay, so I agree with both of you that the line matchup between the two is definitely the biggest. I think it's two underappreciated defensive lines, but offensive lines, who's going to hold up better? That's another huge thing. You brought up the quarterbacks. My thing is also about the Union and their secondary against the wide receivers and weapons of the heavy hitters. That's also a huge matchup. I think it'll decide the game. I don't see it being that much of a tight end linebacker game personally, but I do actually maybe, because the Union do like to run the ball a lot, and then we saw the heavy hitters run the ball a lot with Paul Becca. So that could be another underappreciated one.
And those linemen are big boys, and they get out and block. They run. Whether the guard pulls or the center pulls or the tackle pulls, and when you got one of them coming at you, and number 21 is kind of behind them in front of a wall, that's where the flag guard pulling is going to be very important. You can't get extra yards.
So there's a lot of discipline involved there. Omar, you had the first-hand experience against the heavy hitters. Any storyline that you think is also hidden in there? Any game-breaking?
I mean, the only thing I think the way depending on how the teams play, but I think, like we were saying, fine, you do want the tight ends to block and protect, but I think this game is going to come down to that, to be honest. Who can strategize the best in terms of utilizing their tight ends? That's going to be big in this game. I don't think you're going to be able to get those 15, 20-yard passes to Dom. I doubt it, But Naeem has proved a lot of us wrong. It could definitely happen, depending on how much time you buy for Recep to throw those deep passes. But it's going to rely on those, small dunks and, big passes like they did to Mansour against the Hurricanes for that touchdown. It's really that you have to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
I guess out of nowhere, and that's the best thing about Union. They never, they'll lose to you one time in the regular season, and the postseason they'll just change up their whole entire strategy. Every single game they're changing something.
Name says it all the time. Regular season does not count.
Yeah.
All right, so this episode's getting a little bit long. Let's go on to the final picks of the championship game. Omar, spotlight's on you, man.
I honestly, I really think it's going to be a close one. It's tough. I mean, I tell myself sometimes heavy hitters got this, but I'm thinking the Union's gonna outthink them. I think their experience is really gonna come to play this game, and the way they manage the clock, they manage their game. I'm thinking. Actually, I think a very similar outcome to us. Either 13-6 or 14-6. I really think the score is going to be that close. That tight.
All right.
Union.
All right, the 14-6 Union. All right, Farouk, who you got? Is it going to be your longtime rivals or the upstarts that just came out of nowhere?
Oh man, I wish you would have asked me a different question than that, but because it's cause I've been to a lot of games. I've actually played against the Union a lot of times, and I think it's going to be a 13-12 game.
Ooh.
Now, who has 13 and who has 12? That's still kind of contemplating in my mind, but I will give you an answer. It could go either way, but if I had to choose a team, and it's not because I'm anti-Union, I'm actually probably one of the most biggest Union supporters, ironically, since we've had such the rivalry and the respect. But I think only because of the fact, of course, Union's planning and things like that, but I think the heavy hitters are going to pull it off in a close one. But like you mentioned, the receiver, obviously, Mus is fantastic. You have Dom and Mansour has come out, and Fami and all those guys. But that secondary, number 9, number 6, along with the D line, I think they're gonna make some plays. And I think the facet of the game that we didn't talk about is field position and special teams. And I've seen the heavy hitters do pretty well on that, so I'm going to go 13-12 heavy hitters.
Wow. I was not expecting this. I was expecting both of you guys to go with the Union because you guys, when we talked, there was a lot of respect between you guys and the Union.
No, respect aside. Yeah. Respect is respect. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if Union wins, but I have to pick one person because you always say I'm politically correct. So now I'm going to just say that, I think that it could go either way. But if I had to choose one team, I'd say heavy hitters. I wouldn't be surprised if Union wins, but only off of what I've seen.
So I'm in that not so great position where no matter what I do,
See, I could pick the heavy hitters. You can't.
No, that's not the position. The problem is
season.
The problem is no matter what game is involved, no matter what team is involved, I will always pick the Union wrong. They're just that team to me. So at this point, no matter what I pick, I'm going to be wrong when it comes to the Union. If I can pick them to win, the heavy hitters are probably going to win. If I pick them to lose, they're probably going to win. So what do I do? But if I was to really look at it, really be logical about it, I can't keep saying that this and this team will out-athlete the Union. But it's just such an easy argument to make. It's just such a thing. It's just a very, very tangible thing to just look at and just pick like, oh, yeah, this is where they're better than that team. But then again, there's a game plan. I mean, what other team do you know milks the clock basically with 17 minutes left in the second half? That's exactly what the Union did. They just ran the ball down Hurricanes' throat. I'm not sure they could do the same. Oh, my God. Oh. All right, so this one.
And just remember, the weather may be a factor. Weather may be a factor, too.
All right, so you know what? I'm going to be wrong anyway, so pressure's off of me. I'll pick – you know what? Naeem doesn't like this. If I'm going to pick the Union, I'll say 21-14.
That is the short.
Wow. Okay. High
scoring, my man.
A high-scoring game, and you know what? This is, I guess, the one time I'll pick Union. It's kind of like an anti-pick, so if it's a reverse jinx, maybe. I say that now, but I'm trying to make myself look good. No, I'll stick with the Union. I think if they win this, they retire, and this is what they're looking for. Didn't work out for them last year.
They want us to think they're retiring. Why retire?
Yeah.
Add to the dynasty.
All right. And the new regime. It's like the real-time San Antonio Spurs. Or, more relevant, the Patriots who just won last year. So, well, I guess that's it for the show, guys. Thanks for joining me. I just want to have two captains, former champions, especially for championship weekend. I guess that's really it.
And,
I'll see. Go on.
So the union has seen this before. I don't know if some of the heavy hitters have seen it.
What's that?
Yeah, it's the albatross for some. But come Sunday is going back to the union, which I know they live up north, or it's going to the heavy hitters, and some of them live in Newark and Linden. Right now it's
still up north.
Right now it's in Kane country, but come Sunday, who wants it, come get it.
As a person who's seen the playoffs once, I'm very unfamiliar to that trophy. I've only seen it when other teams hold it up in the championship picture. Omar, what about you? Any closing thoughts?
Hey, best of luck to both teams. I mean, I really think it's going to be a great game. If you got time to go watch the game, definitely be there. So
Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday at 10 a.m. I always keep messing this up.
Sunday.
All right.
Here's water.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys at the fields. And then this for everyone else watching the show. Salam, thank you. It's been a great season. I'll catch you guys next time. Whenever that is.
Great job, Horace. Great job.